This is the day of event planning and engagement webinar. Let's get started. The key to planning a good walk is to get organized. We suggest creating a binder or a folder with all of your key information. This would include the route map, timeline, your volunteer schedule, assignments, contact information, emergency plan and incident reports, vendor contact info, and contracts and permits, and any insurance you might need that day for the event. Then we suggest creating a timeline with all the tasks you will need to complete prior to walk day and on walk day. We're going to start with the week before the walk. When you're planning all the things that will take place on that day, don't forget to create a timeline that you can work your MC into the script. Your MC is a great resource to help you keep on track on that day. And you don't have to be the only one speaking. You can have a foundation staff member, if they are attending your walk, help you make announcements, or a volunteer who loves a crowd. The day before walk day should be your day to review and organize all of your materials, especially your walk shirts. Print any instructions for your volunteers and make copies of the registration and T-shirt reports. Before the walk starts, make sure everyone is there in plenty of time to be set up at registration. That should be your first priority when you're doing setup registration first and then work on everything else next. Be sure you can meet with your volunteers to go over the instructions and that everyone knows what their job is and has a good understanding of the registration process. And then have everyone in place preferably 20 minutes prior to registration start. We have a lot of materials to help you put on a great walk, and we're going to talk about some of those in these upcoming slides. You can use these directional arrows to show where there's some great key areas at your site, where the bathrooms are, mark the path of your walk, point them to registration or kids activities. They can be used for multiple things. On the route, be sure you are mindful of your park's rules and have some water stops and trash bags along the route to keep everything clean and for easy pickup after the event. I think one of the most key volunteers is a person who you assign to be the last walker on your path. Their job is to pick up any signs, trash, anything to help clean up the path and return back to your home base park at the end. But this way then you don't have to send a second person or somebody else out or remember to go out and get clean up the path afterwards. It's already done. Having a workstation is a really great thing to have. It helps with the flow of registration. That way people don't get bottled up by filling out forms when others could be just checking in and dropping off envelopes. It's a great little station where they can fill out all their paperwork, organize all their money, and then when they get to registration, all they really need to do is check in or drop off their envelopes and makes the process go quite quickly. Make sure you know the process and that your volunteers know the process too. We will go over registration in more detail in the next webinar. Things you need for registration, the work tables, as I mentioned before, registration tables, we're doing those in alphabetical order by last name. That's how your reports will be run. So that way kind of makes it a little bit easier for people to check in just by their last name. And then you would do a separate T-shirt table. Now if you have a process that's working really great for you, go for it, use it, do it. But if you're wanting to get a better process in place, I suggest joining a call on registration for the registration webinar or conference call or watching the registration webinar. The materials you need for registration are your envelopes, the walk-on and pre-reg credit card forms, your registration report, and your T-shirt report. And this is what they look like. We'll also put the name tag there. Sharpies work best on the name tags. That long skinny envelope is your pre-reg, those people who have already registered, but they just have money to drop off. Your credit card slips for your work table or your volunteer clipboard if you have someone who is helping take credit card donations, they can use those. And then you have your registration envelope that is a large one, so you know what all those look like. Work table supplies, things you'll need there: pens, calculators, Sharpies, your instructions for your participants, which will be in your registration folder that the foundation will send, your envelopes, of course, and name tags. Another envelope that you will have is for any miscellaneous revenue. If you're doing a raffle or a silent auction or Penny Kids Dash money, all of that can go in the envelopes provided for you. Just write what type of revenue it is on the envelope and put it in the large FedEx envelope with everything else. Dun dun dun, the T-shirt incentive, the most complicated part of this whole registration day and process, but if you know it, it is really easy. Each individual that raises $100 will receive a T-shirt. Simple, black and white, straightforward. The complicated part is when it gets to the teams. For every $100 a team raises, they get a T-shirt, but not to exceed the number of registered people on their team. So if Team Kidney Beans has 5 people on their team and they only raise $300, only 3 people will get a T-shirt. Personally, I start with the team captain, get the T-shirt or sign them a T-shirt ahead of time, and then I would go with anyone else who has raised money, the highest to the lowest, and assign sizes that way. It's up to the team captain to decide whether or not or who on their team would get a shirt, so they can exchange those sizes at the T-shirt table later if you choose the right sizes ahead of time, so no problem. Recognition signs. Use them. It's a great way to give a shout out to your teams, to your sponsors, anyone who's really done something great for you at the walk. Some people put them on their walk paths, and the teams really like to take photos there. Some use them at photo booths. Some others put them on little stakes and put them around. Just be mindful of what your park will allow, but they're great for recognizing those special people at your walk. And this is what the sign looks like. It's a kind of a fill-in-the-blank thing. You can write in whatever you would like. The Pineda Kids Dash, this is for our youngest participants. It's a way to get them engaged in fundraising and to be a part of your event. The actual dash is usually held right before the start line ceremony. Some people do it in 2 heats where they have the young kids go first and the older kids go next. Just, mark out like 50 or so, maybe 50 feet long, maybe 20 feet or so, just a quick little run from one end of the park to the other, whatever, and just, it's a little run just for them, so they can feel special. Some people do little prizes. Some people have, high schools or volunteers make a banner for them to run through. Make it fun and make it your own. The start line ceremony will be sent to you prior to the walk. Follow the script. We try to highlight all the key messaging for the walk on the on that paper. Make it meaningful, make it special to your walk, and just make sure that the fundraising message is heard. That's what we're all about. And then when people are returning back from your walk, have volunteers cheering at the finish line, have water available, have music playing to kind of keep people engaged and around for some time after the walk, so they have time to connect or take part in any activities you may have going on after the walk. Some people have a specialty refreshment, snow cones, or donated food from restaurants or things like that. And then at the end of the event, take all the envelopes and place them in the FedEx pre-labeled envelope. They should be marked 2-day shipping. Be sure that it says your walk name on the envelope so that we know whose money it is. If you have time, consolidate all the registration reports into one master sheet so we can account for everyone who's there. If you don't have time, put all the registration reports in that FedEx envelope. If there is anyone needed T-shirt sizes and they've filled out that form, make sure that's in that envelope. Any miscellaneous revenue envelopes will go in there. Basically, just put all your completed envelopes and money and reports in that envelope and ship it to us, and we'll take care of it when it gets back to the foundation. And that's it. So keep organized, take it step by step, and you'll have a great walk day. Another thing to do after the event is inventory all your supplies and report back to the foundation if there's T-shirts you need, what registration materials you have left, what day of event materials you have left. Send thank you notes to your sponsors and volunteers. Thank them for their time and their donations. And then submit your hours and reimbursements to the foundation.